Welcome to Whispered Time. Tonight we journey together, far beyond the rush of modern life, into a world shrouded in mystery, a time of quiet resilience and simple beauty. This is the Dark Ages. Imagine you awaken in a small stone cottage, your bed made of straw and wool blankets. The early morning light spills through wooden shutters. You hear the muffled sounds of a village stirring to life, the distant toll of a church bell, the soft bleating of sheep in a misty field. Take a deep breath and let your thoughts slow down. Here, there are no clocks demanding your attention, no glowing screens, only the steady rhythm of the land and the warmth of the fire. You step outside into the cool dawn air. A gentle fog drapes the earth in silver. Villagers pass you with nods and quiet greetings. You feel the rough fabric of your tunic against your skin, the damp grass underfoot, the simple peace that comes with knowing your place in the world. This is a time when life moved slowly, when each season brought its own rituals, and when stories were passed from one generation to the next by the glow of candlelight. Tonight, we will wander these ancient paths together. We'll visit the bustling heart of the village, where blacksmiths shape iron and bakers tend warm loaves. We'll explore the great stone castles and the quiet monasteries where monks spend their days in patient devotion. You'll hear the gentle clink of wooden cups at the harvest feast, the soothing chants rising from the chapel at dusk, the rustling wind through the trees that have stood watch for centuries. With each moment, you will sink deeper into a place of rest, a place where the worries of your own time can drift away like smoke. Close your eyes now, feel your breath steady and soft. As the world outside grows distant, you are safe here, wrapped in the memories of a simpler age. This is your time to relax, your time to listen, your time to dream. Let us begin our journey into the quiet heart of the Dark Ages. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to arrive fully in this place. It is early morning in the village. You are safe here in this simple world where each day begins much the same as the last. You slowly open your eyes. Above you, wooden beams stretch across the low ceiling. A wool blanket rests on your chest, heavy with the chill of dawn. You shift, feeling the soft crackle of straw beneath your thin mattress. For a moment, you listen. You hear the quiet breath of the embers in the hearth, still warm from the night before, the gentle scratching of a hen outside the door, searching for breakfast. In the distance, the first bell of the monastery begins to toll, calling the monks to their morning prayers. You sit up slowly, rubbing the sleep from your eyes. You pull on your tunic coarse linen, faded with many seasons of wear. You tie a leather cord round your waist and slip your feet into sturdy boots. They are old, but they have carried you through every path and field you know. You step outside. The air is cold and fresh, filled with the clean scent of damp earth and wood smoke. A pale mist clings to the thatched roofs, drifting like a living thing through the narrow lanes. The village begins to stir around you to your left. A woman carries a basket of kindling, her breath a soft cloud in the morning chill. She nods to you in quiet greeting. A pair of children scurry past, chasing a chicken across the muddy ground, their laughter rising into the grey sky. Somewhere behind you, a dog barks once, then falls silent again. You begin to walk slowly down the village lane. Your steps are unhurried. There is no rush, here only the patient unfolding of another day. You pass small cottages built of timber and wattle. Their shutters are opening, one by one, as sleepy faces peer out to greet the dawn. Wisps of smoke curl from stone chimneys, carrying the promise of warm bread and porridge. A cart creaks slowly by, pulled by a dappled pony. Its wooden wheels leave deep grooves in the soft earth. The driver raises a gloved hand in greeting, his eyes as kind and weathered as an old oak tree. You pause to watch a woman drawing water from the well. She lifts the bucket carefully, her hands steady despite the chill. Tiny droplets spill onto the mossy stones, catching the light like bits of glass as you stand there. You feel the hush of this hour, before the work begins in earnest, before the noise and labor of the day. There is this moment of calm, a stillness that belongs to the early morning alone. You breathe it in. You feel the quiet strength of the village around you. These walls and paths have stood for generations. The same fields will be sown and harvested. The same stories will be told by the fire. And in this moment, you are part of it all. A life simple in its demands, honest in its purpose, and rich in its quiet joys. Take another deep breath. Feel your shoulders soften. Know that you are welcome here in this gentle morning. When you are ready, we will step further into this day to see how the hours unfold and what small wonders await beyond the edge of dawn. For now, simply be here, resting, breathing, at peace. Asterisk, 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 take a slow breath and let yourself sink even more deeply into this world. The morning mist is lifting now, revealing the wide fields that stretch beyond the village. You stand at their edge, feeling the damp soil beneath your boots and the first warmth of the sun on your face. This is the land you know as well as your own heartbeat. These fields have shaped your days and seasons for as long as you can remember. You are a peasant here, rooted to the earth, patient in your labors, and content with the honest work of your hands. You walk toward a small wooden shed where your tools are kept. The handle of your hoe is worn smooth, shaped by years of use. You lift it carefully, feeling its weight, and rest it on your shoulder. Today you will tend to the rows of winter vegetables, checking each sprout for frost damage, brushing away leaves that have fallen in the night. You begin your work. The movements are familiar and unhurried. Your breath rises in small clouds as you stoop to examine the plants. One by one, you clear the rows, your mind quiet, your thoughts soft and slow. All around you, the village begins to hum with the gentle sounds of daily life. A neighbor calls to his oxen, coaxing them into the field to pull the heavy wooden plow. The iron blade cuts clean lines through the dark soil, and you pause for a moment to watch the earth turn under the brightening sky. Farther down the lane, a woman scatters grain for her chickens, her voice low and comforting as she counts them. A young boy carries a basket of kindling past you, careful not to spill a single twig. His face is ruddy with the cold, but he smiles shyly as he passes. You return to your work, feeling the slow rhythm of the land settling into your bones. There is no urgency here, only the patient unfolding of the day. At mid-morning, you straighten, pressing your hand to the small of your back. You look up and see the village as it truly is, a quiet tapestry of simple lives, woven together by shared labor and the unspoken bond of community. You feel the warmth of belonging, stronger than any chill the winter can bring. A bell rings from the church tower, marking the hour. It is time to rest, if only for a little while. You set your tool aside and walk back toward your cottage. Inside, a small hearth glows. A clay pot simmers with thick vegetable pottage, fragrant with leeks and herbs. You tear a piece, of course, brown bread and dip it into the steaming broth, savoring the warmth that spreads through your chest. For a moment, you close your eyes and simply breathe. The work will wait. The fields will be there when you return. In this moment, you are nourished by more than food. You are nourished by the quiet satisfaction of a life rooted in purpose. When you finish, you pull your cloak around your shoulders and step outside again. The sun has climbed higher, gilding the thatched roofs with pale light. The fields beckon you back. You pick up your hoe and walk slowly toward the furrows you have yet to tend. Each step feels sure and steady. Each breath feels clear and deep. This is your place. This is your life. And though it is simple, it is enough. As the hours pass, you fall into the gentle rhythm of labor. The sun crosses the sky. The shadows lengthen. And all the while, you feel the quiet strength that comes from knowing you are part of the land itself. Take another slow breath. Feel your body relax into this memory. There is no hurry here, only the patient, peaceful work of the day. Rest in this feeling and know that you are safe and welcome in the life you have imagined. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The sun has reached its highest point in the sky. You pause at the edge of the fields, wiping the earth from your hands. Today, you have been called to deliver a message to the castle. You set down your tools and begin the slow walk up the winding path. Each step lifts you higher, away from the quiet hum of village life. As you climb the hill, you feel the cool breeze on your face. The road curves between hedgerows and sparse trees, until, at last, the great walls come into view. Stone towers rise against the sky, their surfaces weathered by countless seasons of rain and wind. Banners stir gently along the battlements' deep colors that mark the noble house within. At the gate, you nod respectfully to the guards. Their armor glints in the pale light, and they lift the heavy wooden crossbeam to let you pass. You step beneath the archway into the shaded courtyard beyond. Inside, the air is cool and still. A few servants cross the square, carrying baskets of linen and crates of vegetables. A groom leads a tall grey horse toward the stables. Somewhere high above, a falcon cries from its perch. Your footsteps echo on the worn flagstones as you approach. The main hall, the massive doors stand open, inviting you into the heart of the castle. You cross the threshold. The great hall is vast and dim, lit by dozens of torches that flicker against the walls of stone. Heavy wooden tables line the room, their surfaces polished smooth by generations of use. At the far end, a wide hearth burns with a slow, steady fire, sending waves of warmth into the cavernous space. A pair of hounds doze on the flagstones, their ears twitching in their sleep. The air smells of smoke, herbs, and roasted meat. You pause to take it all in the quiet splendor. The weight of history settled into every corner. A steward in a dark tunic approaches, bowing his head as you hand him the folded message. He thanks you in a voice as soft as the hush that fills the hall. You turn slowly, allowing your eyes to wander across the tapestries that hang along the walls. They show battles long past and feasts celebrated generations before your time. Near one of the tall windows, a lady of the house sits at her embroidery frame. Her gown pulls around her chair like a ripple of silk. She glances up just once, her expression serene, before bending again to her delicate work. Outside the window, you glimpse the training yard where young squires practice with wooden swords. The muffled thud of their strikes rises and falls in a gentle rhythm. You stand quietly by the hearth for a moment, feeling the heat on your face, the rough stone at your back. Though this world is grander than your own, it holds the same quiet patterns, work, ritual, and rest. A servant passes with a tray of fresh bread, the scent warm and comforting. He offers you a small loaf, and you take it with gratitude, feeling its weight in your hands. For a moment, you allow yourself to imagine what it would be like to live within these walls, protected by their strength, surrounded by quiet purpose. And then, as the steward returns with a nod of thanks, you know it is time to go. You step back into the courtyard. The sun is just beginning to drift westward. Shadows stretch across the flagstones as you pass beneath the archway and out into the open air. You pause one last time to look back. The castle stands tall and silent above the valley, enduring, unchanging dot, and then you turn, beginning the slow descent back toward the village you call home. Each step brings you closer to the simple life you know, the fields, the hearth, the gentle rhythms of another day. Take a deep breath and feel the peace of this place settling around you. You are safe, you are welcome. You belong here in this quiet moment in time. Asterisk, asterisk, as you make your way down the winding road, you feel the sun warm on your shoulders. The castle grows smaller behind you, its towers fading into the haze of afternoon. Your path leads you past the edge of the village, where a simple wooden cross marks the boundary of sacred ground. Here, among quiet trees, stands the old stone church, its walls thick and cool, its roof steep and shingled. You pause for a moment at the doorway. The heavy wooden door is open just enough to let a breath of incense drift out into the breeze. It carries the scent of wax and sweet herbs. You step inside. The hush is immediate. The air feels still, as if the stones themselves are holding their breath. Narrow windows pour soft light across the flagstone floor. Dust motes dance like tiny spirits in the beams of gold dot. At the far end of the nave, candles flicker before a simple altar. Their flames bow and sway in the draughts that slip between ancient walls. A single figure kneels in prayer, his head bowed, hands folded. He does not look up as you pass. You walk slowly to a wooden bench and sit. The smooth surface feels cool beneath your palms. You rest your hands there and close your eyes. For a time, you listen to the silence. It is a silence that feels deeper than any you have known, more than the absence of sound. A silence that seems to hold centuries of whispered prayers, of births and farewells, of quiet faith that endures through all things. When you open your eyes again, you feel lighter, as if you have left something behind among these stones, some small worry that no longer needs to follow you. You rise and step back into the sunlight. The path continues to the monastery on the hill beyond the church. You follow it slowly, feeling the peace of this place linger around your shoulders. The monastery walls are made of grey stone, their surfaces mottled with lichen. Ivy creeps up from the base, green against the pale rock. You pass beneath a low archway and into the cloister. Here, the world is simpler still. A narrow garden grows in the courtyard, rows of lavender, sage, and rosemary. Bees drift lazily among the blossoms. You walk along the covered walkway, your steps echoing in the quiet. In one corner, a monk tends to the herbs, his hands moving gently among the leaves. He looks up and meets your gaze. His eyes are kind, lined with years of patient work. He inclines his head, then returns to his task. You continue down the passage, drawn by the soft sound of voices. Through a half-open door, you glimpse the scriptorium. Inside, rows of wooden desks, are lit by slanting beams of afternoon sun. Monks bend over their vellum pages, their quills scratching in a steady rhythm. The air smells of ink and parchment. Candles burn in iron holders along the walls, their smoke curling up to darkened rafters. You stand quietly, watching as careful hands shape each letter. A line of Latin takes form beneath a practiced toucher record of wisdom, meant to outlast the fragile world outside these walls. For a long while, you remain there, simply breathing. The hush is so complete that you feel time itself slowing. Each heartbeat a small, steady note in a chant that began long before you arrived and will go on long after you depart. At last, you step away, passing back through the cloister and into the bright afternoon. The path before you is lined with low stone walls. You follow it without hurry, feeling the peace of the monastery still wrapped around you like a cloak dot in your heart. You carry the memory of this quiet place of refuge beyond the reach of time, where devotion and simplicity keep watch together. Take a deep breath as you continue down the road. Know that you are welcome here always. This calm, this stillness is yours to return to whenever you wish. Asterisk, asterisk. The road winds gently back toward the heart of the village. You walk slowly, feeling the warmth of the afternoon sun on your face, the softness of the breeze as it carries the smells of earth and wood smoke. Ahead, you hear the steady ring of a hammer against iron. The blacksmith is at work. You step into the dim forge, where the air is rich with the scent of coal and hot metal. A great fire glows in the hearth, its coals pulsing like the heart of some hidden creature. Sparks dance in the shadows as the blacksmith lifts his hammer and brings it down with patient strength. He shapes the iron slowly, no rush, no wasted motion. Each strike is deliberate, each movement honed by years of practice. You watch as a new blade takes form beneath his hands. When he pauses to rest, he nods to you with a quiet smile. His face is streaked with soot, his eyes warm and steady. For a moment, you stand together in the hush of the forge, listening to the low roar of the fire. When you step back outside, the world feels cooler, the air sweet and clean after the heat within. A few paces down the lane, you pass the potter's workshop. The door is open to let in the light. Inside, the potter's wheel spins slowly, turning a lump of clay beneath deft fingers. The potter hums a soft tune as she works, her hands guiding the clay upward in a graceful spiral. Bit by bit, a simple cup takes shape, smooth and perfect. In its quiet purpose, shelves line the walls, filled with bowls and jugs, each one unique. Their pale surfaces wait to be glazed and fire transformed by heat into something strong and lasting. You breathe in the damp, earthy scent of clay and feel a sense of wonder at the skill it takes to turn soil into something beautiful and useful. Leaving the potter's door, you follow a narrow path toward the weaver's cottage. Inside, the weaver sits at her loom. The wooden frame creaks as she passes the shuttle back and forth. Her hands move in a steady rhythm, weaving pale threads into a length of warm cloth. The air smells faintly of wool and lavender. Sunlight spills across the warp threads, catching on each tiny fiber. For a while, you stand and watch, feeling your breath slow to match the measured beat of her work. Outside again, the village is alive with quiet industry. You see the cooper, fitting iron hoops to a barrel, testing each stave with a practiced eye. The carpenter lifts a chisel, carving a simple pattern into the edge of a table. A woman kneels in her doorway, mending a basket with lengths of pliant willow. Everywhere, there is movement, but no hurry. Each task is a thread in the fabric of Daily life, small labors that together sustain the village through every season. You walk among them, feeling the calm that comes from knowing there is purpose in each hour, that no effort is wasted. You pause near the square, where a merchant has arrived with his cart. He lifts a woven cloth to show the baker a bright length of blue dyed with woad. Next, he offers a jar of honey. Golden and thick voices rise in gentle barter, blending with the low calls of chickens and the distant bark of a dog. As you listen, you realize how each trade, each craft, is part of something larger, an unbroken chain linking every hand to the next. And in this moment, you feel yourself connected to all of it, to the rhythm of honest work and quiet exchange. Take a slow breath. Feel your shoulders soften. Here, you are not an outsider. You are part of the village, welcomed by the blacksmith, the potter, the weaver, trusted to stand among their labors and to share in their peace. Stay here as long as you like, breathing in the simple goodness of this place. When you are ready, we will walk on together into the next part of the day, where the land itself waits to tell its story. Asterisk, 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 you leave the village behind you now, following a narrow path that winds between hedgerows and low stone walls. Ahead, the fields stretch in every direction, golden and green beneath the drifting clouds. You pause for a moment to breathe in the clean air, the scent of earth warmed by the sun, of grass drying in the breeze. Here, in this quiet countryside, time unfolds by the turning of the seasons. You step from the path into the stubbled remnants of a harvested field. The stalks are pale and brittle, whispering under your boots. Beyond them, the land rises into rolling hills where sheep graze among scattered rocks in spring. These fields are soft and wet, alive with new shoots. Farmers sow seed by hand, their fingers stained with soil. Lambs wobble after their mothers, on unsteady legs. You imagine the damp air filled with birdsong and the bright green of young wheat rising from dark earth in summer. The days stretch long and golden. You see the fields bright with ripening grain, hear the steady rasp of scythes cutting swaths through tall stalks. Women gather the sheaves into bundles, their hair tucked beneath linen veils. Children run barefoot in the warm dust, laughing, as they carry small armfuls to the wagons. In autumn, the land is rich and heavy. The carts creak beneath the weight of the harvest sacks of barley and baskets of apples, their skins blushed red by the last warm days. You picture the village gathering for a harvest feast, long tables laid with fresh bread, thick pottage, and honey-sweet cakes, lanterns hung from wooden beams, the glow of firelight against smiling faces. And when winter comes, the fields fall silent. Frost clings to every blade of grass, turning the land to silver. Sheep are gathered into pens, and grain is stored in bins to last the dark months. You feel the hush of snow falling in the night, the soft creak of footsteps over frozen ground, the comfort of a fire crackling in the hearth while the wind howls. Beyond the door, every season has its work, its gifts, its quiet demands, and every season teaches patience. You walk slowly now along the edge of a low stone wall, your hand brushing its rough surface. Lichen spreads across the rocks, pale green and silver, marking the years that have passed unnoticed by any but the land itself. Beyond the wall, a wide meadow opens, a place where herbs grow wild among the grasses. In spring, the villagers come here to gather healing plants, yarrow for fevers, sage for aching joints, chamomile for restless sleep. You bend and imagine the soft, familiar scents rising to meet you, green, sharp, and comforting. You look up to the distant woods that stand dark along the horizon. In their depths, hunters track deer among the oaks, while children gather fallen branches for kindling. Even here, where the land seems untouched, every path is shaped by human hands and the quiet work of generations. You pause to listen. A skylark rises into the air, its song spilling across the fields. For a moment, you close your eyes and feel yourself a part of this place, your breath matching the rhythm of wind and birdsong. Your thoughts as slow and steady as the turning of the year. This is the gift of the land, to remind you that all things change, and that change itself can be gentle. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the peace of the countryside filling your chest. In this world, there is no rush, no deadlines, no noise, no demands beyond the quiet cycles that have endured for centuries. Stay here as long as you wish, listening to the soft song of the land. When you are ready, we will return to the village, to see how the people gather together when the work is done, and how even the longest day ends in rest. The sun has begun its slow descent beyond the hills. You walk back toward the village, feeling the cool of evening gather around your shoulders. The fields are quiet now. The last voices of the day drift away on the breeze, replaced by the hush that comes before night. As you pass through the low gate, you see warm lamplight spilling from cottage windows. Smoke rises in gentle ribbons from the chimneys, carrying the scent of wood and supper. You step carefully along the worn path, your boots leaving shallow prints in the damp earth. Outside a doorway, a woman pours the last of the day's water into a trough. She looks up and offers you a soft smile. Her hands are rough with work, but her eyes are kind, reflecting the small comforts that make each day worth living. You continue to your own door. Inside, the air is warm and close. A small fire crackles in the hearth, filling the room with a golden glow. Shadows flicker across the beams overhead, dancing with each gust of the draft. You set aside your cloak and sit on the low bench near the flames. For a moment, you close your eyes and feel the heat soak into your skin, melting the last of the day's chill. In the corner, a pot of broth simmers slowly. Its scent is ricunion and leek, the sweetness of parsnip, a handful of barley softening. In the bubbling water, you lift a wooden cup from the shelf and fill it from the pot. The steam curls up to your face as you take a careful sip. The warmth spreads through your chest and into your hands, steadying and comforting. Outside the window, dusk deepens to twilight. The sky fades from pale gold to grey, then to the deep blue of approaching night. One by one, small candles appear in neighboring homes, bright points of welcome in the darkness. You set your cup aside and rise to check the door latch. Satisfied, you return to the hearth and settle onto a low stool. You feel the quiet of the hour filling every corner of the room. The small dog at your feet shifts in her sleep, sighing as she curls tighter against the hearthstone. You pick up a length of wool and begin to mend a tear in your tunic. Your hands move slowly, each stitch a familiar ritual. In this hour, there is no need for hurry. No voices calling your name. No tasks left unfinished. Only the simple rhythm of needle and thread. The soft crackle of the fire. The steady beat of your own heart. When the mending is done, you fold the cloth neatly and set it aside. You lift another log to the flames and watch as it catches, the embers flaring bright before settling into a steady glow. You sit quietly, Listening. Outside, the last birds have fallen silent. The village is wrapped in stillness. Even the breeze has grown soft, moving only enough to rattle the thatch along the eaves. You feel the day's work ease from your body. Your shoulders relax. Your hands grow heavy in your lap. This is the hour when stories are told, memories pass from parent to child by the light of the fire. You remember old tales you heard when you were small, stories of heroes and spirits, of harvest feasts and long winters survived. As you remember, you feel something settle in your heart, a quiet, knowing that you are part of a line stretching back through time, connected by all the small acts of living that make a life whole. You look into the heart of the fire, the coals glowing like hidden jewels. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the warmth of this place, the safety, the gentle finality of nightfall. Whatever tomorrow brings, it can wait here in the hush of evening. You are home, you are safe, you are enough. Let the fire burn low as you close your eyes. Let your breath grow soft, and know that in this moment there is nothing you must do but rest. Asterisk, 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 the fire has burned low in the hearth. Only a few coals remain, glowing faintly in the darkness. You sit quietly in the warm hush of the cottage, listening to your own breath. Outside, night has claimed the village. Every door is closed, every candle snuffed to a single ember. The world is resting as you close your eyes. You begin to sense the deeper rhythm beneath the day-to-day, a quiet pulse that moves through seasons and years, as steady as a heartbeat. Time here is not measured by clocks or calendars. It is marked by the turning of the earth, by the slow unfolding of one life into another. You think of the old woman who taught you to mend cloth, her hands wrinkled but sure. You remember the blacksmith shaping iron in the forge just as his father did before him. You recall the faces of children chasing chickens along the path, so alive in the present, untroubled by what came before or what may come after. You picture the fields beyond the village, where the same furrows are ploughed each spring, where the same rains fall and the same harvests ripen. Each life here is a small part of something vast, something that stretches backward into memory and forward into hope. You feel that vastness now. It settles around you like a blanket. It slows your thoughts and softens the edges of the day. In this place, time is never wasted. Even the smallest task, a seed planted, a fire tended, a story shared has meaning. You remember the quiet of the church, where candles burned against the darkness, each flame a promise that nothing is ever truly lost. You remember the hush of the monastery, where monks copied words they would never live to see read, trusting that their work would outlast them. And you remember the faces of those who walked these lanes before you, their lives woven into the same fabric you now share. As you sit in the dim glow, you feel the weight of time, not as a burden, but as a gift, a reminder that you belong here, that you are part of something enduring and true. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel your heart steady. Feel your mind grow calm. In this moment, you are free of all demands. You are not defined by what you have done or left undone. You are simply here, alive, aware, held in the quiet passage of time. Outside, the first frost is forming on the rooftops, silvering the thatch and the stones. The fields beyond the village sleep beneath a blanket of cold dot. Soon the sun will rise and another day will begin. The blacksmith will wake to stoke his fire. The potter will shape her clay. Children will scatter grain for the hens and gather water from the well. But for now, all is still. All is at peace. Let the hush of this hour sink into your bones. Know that you are safe. Know that you are enough. And as you drift towards sleep, remember that time will carry you gently, just as it has carried all who came before. Nothing is rushed, nothing is lost, only the quiet unfolding of life. One moment to the next. Close your eyes. Breathe. Rest. You are home. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. The embers in the hearth are nearly dark now. Outside, the village sleeps beneath a blanket of frost. The fields are quiet, the trees unmoving, as if the land itself is holding its breath. Inside your cottage, all is calm. You sit with your eyes closed, listening to the soft rhythm of your own breath. In this stillness, you begin to remember all you have seen. The dawn breaking over the fields, the patient work of the blacksmith, the potter, the weaver, the hush of the monastery and the flickering light of the church, the slow turning of the seasons, each one carrying its gifts and its trials. The faces of the village, weathered, enduring. Each moment has been a thread in a tapestry that stretches across centuries. And though the tools may grow worn, the stones may crumble, and the stories may fade from memory, something deeper remains. A quiet spirit that endures beyond time, a sense of belonging that no hardship can erase. As you sit in this final hour, you feel that spirit alive within you. It is there in the patience of your hands, the steadiness of your breath, the simple gratitude that comes from a day honestly lived. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the warmth of this place. Even as the night grows colder, this life humble, close to the land is not marked by grand victories or rich possessions. It is shaped by small, steadfast acts, a seed planted in spring, a loaf of bread shared by firelight, a story passed from one generation to the next. These are the things that last. These are the moments that make a life full. As you rest here at the end of the day, know that you carry this same quiet strength within you. It does not depend on where you were born or what you own or what you have achieved. It is yours simply because you are here alive, aware, willing to listen in this place. There is nothing more you must do, no task you must complete, no proof you must offer. You have walked through a world of patient work and gentle faith. You have witnessed the passing of time, and you have learned that there is beauty in simplicity, comfort in routine, and peace in the knowledge that all things come and go. In their season, close your eyes. Let your breath grow soft and easy. If thoughts arise, let them drift past, like leaves on a quiet stream. You are safe. You are enough. You are part of something larger, story older than memory, yet as familiar as your own heartbeat. Feel this truth settle around you like a blanket. Let it cradle you. As you rest, when you wake, the sun will rise again over the fields. The village will stir to life. The same tasks will call, and the same comforts will be waiting. But for now, there is nothing to do but breathe, to feel the peace of this moment, and to sleep, knowing that you are home. Asterisk, asterisk.